Hi, you guys. Welcome back. My name is Carrie Penny. I am the Happy Crafty Homemaker. Let's do a... Okay. No lipstick on my teeth and no coffee teeth this time. What do you know? I'm kind of semi-prepared for today's video. So, as the title suggests, today we're going to be going over my goals for 2023. So, as I've told you in years past, these are not Carrie must do. If these aren't done, Carrie failure goals. These are gentle reminders over the course of the year, and as we come back and revisit things that I was hoping to do, things that I was hoping to get through, and things I wanted to focus on over the course of the year. These are not demands. If you are a goal setter and you look at these as demands, try not to do that with your crafty world, because in your crafty world, this should be a very happy thing. Now, if you have a craft business, that's a totally different story. Disregard. So, we've already done Saturday, where I ended up on my goals for 2022. Like I said, it was what it was. The year was not what I planned for it to be. Not stressed. I do, however, have some very lofty goals for 2023. So I'm doing something a little bit different. It's something I had done in previous years. We'll get to that. But I did do printouts again to put in my craft journal. Like I said in the 2022 recap, I am just going to reuse the same journal I used last year. This was made using a tutorial from May Made It. This is just one of her covering a composition book tutorials. A lot of the things I did in here are just duplicates of what she shares in her videos on covering things. So I moved 2022's goals here, and here is where I had put my supplies used and finished item tally. And this is also just a sheet of my pre-2022, 2020 goal, like pre-2020 finished objects that I did last year. Really quickly, if you don't remember from last year, or if you don't feel like going back and watching last year's video, this is where my goals will be. This is where my other thing will be. These are just optional little flaps for me to put additional notes to myself in. This is where I had put my Yarny FOs. I highlighted and retallied the weight and the length of my Yarny FOs as I went. The highlighter line is end of May, end of April, end of March, end of February, end of January. I did not finish very many projects last year. Like I said, it was a very, very, very slow year for FOs. I did a lot of prep for other projects though. So hopefully this year we'll have more than 40 finished objects. Yep, 40. And that's the end of December. We have our first FO of the year right here. So I will continue. I have plenty of room to be able to put my Yarny FOs. This tab marks where my non-Yarny FOs for 2022 were. We will come over here and start my non-yarn FOs for 2023 on this page. And we have this page as well. So that's the first section of this. The next section are my WIPs. This is where I keep my ball bands as I finish those and put those in little bulldog clips every quarter when I come down to tell you guys how many I have in here. So these are all my WIPs that I started in 2022. All of the tabs here mark unfinished projects. Once a quarter, I was going back and flagging those, so I knew to go back to them. And this is where we are right now. This was my Advent shawl for 2022. This was the last project I started in the year. So when I was down here the other day, I added this flap. It extends over the edge of the book. This will be where I mark to have my started projects for 2022. And this one has been started. This was started on the 1st. I have this many pages to fill up with WIPs for this year. I'm sorry, I keep seeing lipstick on my teeth. That's why I never wear red lipstick. I have another little pocket here. I have a place to make my notes. This was where I started my planning for 2023's goals. I knew from previous years I really don't use this section much, so I did not leave myself a whole lot of pages back here when I made this notebook in 2022, but that's where we are. So in the front, I will be putting these two printouts. So the first one we're going to run down are my goals for 2023. Now I will trim this nicely and tape this in with washi tape, just like I had the other one previously before I moved it to the behind flap. So, finish your frog 2022's WIPs. Finish your frog 2021's WIPs. Finish and frog pre-2020 WIPs. In 2021, I did actually complete that goal and frog or finish all of 2020's projects. I want to spend at least 3 pounds of the fleece that I have into yarn. That one probably will not, I'm going to be upfront on, is that probably will not be met. That's a very lofty goal, seeing how I barely managed to get 16 ounces spun, I think, last year. Finish 400 cards. Once again, I only did 200 last year, so we'll see if I can hit 400 again this year. Cover 5 journals. I've got a couple of notebooks, composition notebooks. I also have some small steno pads that I would also like to cover. 75 pounds of FOs. I only did 50 odd pounds last year. Finish 5 12 by 12 paper pads. That is going to be very achievable if I actually come down here and work, because I have 2 mostly done that are left over from covering craft journals. When I put all my patterns into binders last year, I have 2 mostly done 12 by 12 pads just from that project. I have 1 almost finished with my Easter cards. I have 1 50% finished trying to make general greeting all-purpose cards. Plus, I will still need to make fresh Halloween cards this year. So the paper pad goals all are actually achievable, even though they sound much bigger than they are. I am including my partially used paper pads for this. Finish 5 6x6 paper pads. Finish 10 rolls of washi tape. Sew something. Anything. And that is exactly how I have it written in here. I just want to get my sewing machine out, re-oil it, and actually use it. I have not used it in 4 years. I miss sewing. I would like to sew something. I have projects kind of paired off that I would like to just make. Donate 15 shawls, donate 10 hats, which should be extra achievable this year, as I did go ahead and use some of my Amazon reward card perks and purchase an Addie King knitting machine. Words. So hats should actually be very nice. I will be able to use up some of the like Vanna's Choice that I really love, but I'm just not reaching for. Some of them, they're leftovers from projects, like some of these yellows and stuff. They're just leftover from projects. I love them. I really like them, but I've got enough in my stash to be getting on with. Also, I still have Red Heart and Impeccable that I would like to use, and that steams beautifully to make really nice hats and scarves. So I would like to work some more of my cotton stash up this year. I would like to finish a sweater, finish 10 blankets, which should be, once again, very doable with all the squares that I made in 2020. Hi, Banner. Meow. What you doing? You come here? You say hello to the camera? He doesn't mind having his picture taken, but he's not a huge, I want to be held in the ear cat. Hi, Ben. How you do? Hi. You having a good day so far today? It's actually pretty late. It's almost 5 o'clock at night. He's probably getting ready for his din-din time. Say hi, everybody. Welcome to 2023. I had my first New Year's. As a penny. I growed. See, I growed this year. That was my goal, to be growed and healthy. Pretty healthy. His knee's doing a lot better. It's still wobbly, but we'll talk to the vet about that in his appointment, his annual checkup in February. So you can go do your own cat thing. You want to take care of your kitten business. Yeah. Hi. Where's my sweet foof? Okay. He's not quite ready to be put down yet. So with all of the blankets that I started with the squares last year, there you go, sweet foof. Completing 10 blankets this year really should not be a problem. I have at least 10 that are mostly made. So finish the year with no yarn scraps. And when I say no yarn scraps, I mean no large quantities of yarn scraps. I want to be working them as I go. I'm not going to consider half skeins and yarn scraps, just what I would ball up and put in my bins on my bookcase. That's it. Finish 25 skeins of bulky weight yarn. I'd love to have 25 of those ball bands in my book by the end of the year. Finish 10 fingering weight yarn. So I did drop this goal back because I am struggling. But of course, this morning I printed off 2 patterns that combined call for 6 skeins of fingering weight yarn. Finish 25 cakes of yarn. I've been doing this every year. I've been making very good progress with that, especially with the 2 at a time DK weight shawls I've been making. I've been cranking those out every year. That should be a pretty easy goal, I think, for me to meet. Continue to work down the Red Heart Impeccable. I would like to have that almost completely out of my stash by the end of this year. I don't have much left. I've really done very good at working those out of my stash. We're close. We're very close. Use at least one of my hand dyed yarns and one of my hand spun yarns. So, when I made this goal, this is the hand spun I had in mind. I have 3 hanks of this. I think it totaled about 8.5, 9 ounces total. So I also, and I may have moved it again. Yeah, I moved it. Have a couple skeins of DK weight yarn and fingering weight yarn that I dyed myself 2 years ago. I would like to start using some of those. They're very pretty. I like the yarn that I dyed, so I would like to start using more of the stuff I dye, not just the stuff that I buy. So that is the goal, the WIPs and FOs goal for 2023. Now, the other page that will be going up in the front of my journal, notice I have lines here. These are project goals. I came across these. I was very excited about them and I want to make them. Or, as in the case of the first one, it's a technique I really want to do. So I really want to make a brioche cowl. I keep saying I'm going to do brioche. I want to make a brioche cowl. I'm setting a firm, singular intention this year. I don't just want to learn brioche. I want to make a brioche cowl. I want to make a Stephen West shawl. I haven't made a Stephen West project in a very long time, and I don't want to do just like, a very simple one that's just the textures. I want to play with the colors and the textures in a Stephen West shawl. He's one of my Just Yes designers, Stephen West, Stephen B, Tanis Gray. Telly B Knits actually is getting there real fast too, where just everything they design, I'm in love with. And these are Just Yes designers. So I've done a Telly Bean pattern in the last year. I've done a Tanis Gray pattern in the last year. I want to do another Stephen West pattern. And I want to do a color and texture pattern, not just a texture pattern. Not that even on the just texture, they're beautiful, but I want to make a Fair Isle hat. I have not done a Fair Isle hat in a while, and I am saying Fair Isle, not feral. It's been a while since I've done them. I got that great book that is the knitting the national parks in the U.S. I think it would be fun to maybe do a Fair Isle project out of that. There are some beautiful ski hat patterns that I've seen recently that I would really love to try, so I did want to keep that in mind. It's been a while since I did larger color work projects, so why not do a small because I really enjoy doing color work. So, and I do have a hat pattern where the brim is kind of half cast on, so maybe I'll just go ahead and do that. I want to finish my pickle jar scarf. I did not write that down because I put on here the pickle jar hat that I plan on making with the extras that I purchased. So I would like to do the pickle jar hat and scarf, get those finished this year. I started those at the end. I started the scarf at the end of 2021 and really didn't work on it much in 2020, or 2022. All these 2 years are getting so tongue-tidy. I would like to do 5 projects for my books. I have lots and lots of pattern books that I've collected over the years. I would like to do five projects from my book stash, because I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sections in here that are craft related. And I have 4 shelves out in the hallway that are craft related books. I have lots of inspiration to be able to pull from. I really want to do something. Plus I have the Harry Potter books and I haven't done one of those yet. I want to do my architecture scarf. So I have cast this on previously. I messed it up. I want to restart it and make it. I bought yarn specifically to make the architecture scarf. I really want that FO. I want to make the Around Every Corner shawl, which is another Telly Bean Knits pattern. I purchased that actually right after I finished doing my as I was doing my Advent project, and was like, yeah, I really like this. So that uses mini skeins in an almost log cabin style in the center of the shawl, and then it's surrounded by a solid. And I have a couple of different mini sets, as I've pointed out. I keep collecting them. I would like to do the Bellatrix shawl by Hannah over at Cozy Cottage Crochet. I've had that one in my stash for over 3 years. That's another one that also could call for fingering or DK. I've got obviously plenty of DK weight yarn also. So, and the last one on here is the Candy Skull Cowl. That is a Fair Isle project, and it's been on my I really want to make this for a while now. So those are my direct goals. These patterns are things I want to focus on. These are the general goals that I really want to focus on this year. So the last page that I printed out is almost the same as the one from last year, where I can just do a quick tally of the supplies as I use them. So this has fingering yarn, Red Heart Impeccable yarn, bulky cake, donated hats, donated shawls, donated dishcloths and mug rugs, 6x6 pads, 12x12 pads, sticker sheets, washi tapes, and donated blankets. And then finished item tally for 2023. This is just a fun thing for me. But how many shawls did I make? Hats, scarves, blankets, dishcloths / mug rugs, sweaters, cards, and journals. So that's all that side is. This is a fairly easy one just to, I like seeing, you know, I know we're going to have 80 bajillion shawls here. I like making shawls. That's my, you know, some people it's socks. Some people like making amigurumi. I like making shawls. That's my go-to project. So I love seeing the tick marks. It was weird having like only 5 hats. Normally I at least make 20 or 30 hats every year. Didn't really have that many hats coming out of the craft room last year. I do have one on my needles now that I would like to finish. So yeah, that's where we are on the goals for 2023. So if you have anything where you can, hey, Carrie, remember when you said ... I'd be much appreciative, because I'm still trying to hone in on certain things. And I left myself room, and particularly on my projects goals, to add, because I know over the course of the year, there are going to be so many things where I'm just like, oh, I must make this. I've got to remember this. Oh, and if it's really, really important to me, I want to have that there to write it down. There are some where it's like, oh, I'm going to save this on Pinterest, and it's a one day I want to make it. There are some, though, like the Telly Bean Knits, where it's just like, I need this now. Must make now. And I still haven't cast it on because I literally just finished my Advent project last night. And I still need to block it. And I need to have a blocking party because I've got like 5 shawls that need steam blocking. So anyway, I am going to cut these so they fit in my journal. And I'm going to figure out where I'm going to stick this in here. I think I'm going to put my finished tallies. I'm going to connect it to this page here. That way it's just right there. And this is a really cute little knit print. So anyway, you guys have a wonderful, fantastic day. As always, I love you guys. Please take care and have a wonderful rest of your week. I should hopefully be back. This should be going up Tuesday because I am filming this on Friday. I am trying to be, let's be proactive. Let's stay on top of it. So I am filming this on Friday. This should go up on Tuesday. Saturday's video is already filmed, uploaded, and waiting to go live. Next week on Thursday, we should finally have a show and tell video because I have lots of things to show you guys. Not that many finished objects, a couple of WIPs, but not that many finished objects. I have some acquisitions, like my Christmas gifts that I wanted to share with you guys so I can get playing with those. And then Saturday, hopefully we will have our first tutorial of the year. If not, all of this could go by the wayside, except for today's video, obviously, because you're listening to me talk. There is a chance that our subscription box will be here early. So if it is here early and it's the right box, I'm doing this one through Crate Joy again, and we've had some confusion in boxes past with Crate Joy. Not that I haven't gotten them or that I've been disappointed with them. Crate Joy is a perfectly fine subscription service way to get subscription boxes of all sorts of kinds. We'll get into that. Anyway, if that box does come in, that will either be Thursday or Saturday's upload. I don't know which. I'm just being honest with you guys. Throwing this in here at the end. Take care. I love you, and I will see you real soon. I'll be here regardless. Regardless, you will see this mug. Hopefully not quite as shiny and quite as tired, because it's been a day. But hopefully you will see this mug again later this week. But I still love you guys, and I hope you're having a fantastic week. Bye, guys.